Hi everybody, Dan Illman, Mike Beer. Welcome to Breeders' Cup Focus. In this edition, we're going to take a look at the top contenders for the Breeders' Cup Distaff. Let's throw up the leading contenders, ranked by DRF Southern California handicapper Brad Free's very preliminary morning line odds. And you can get expanded Breeders' Cup contender lists and all the latest news for each division at drf.com/BC. Stellar Wind, the leading light in this division right now, is 7-2 on Brad's morning line. Elate, the 3-year-old filly, at 4-1. Forever Unbridled at 5. Abel Tasman, the early season leader of the 3-year-old filly, set at 6. Paradise Woods also at 6 for trainer Richard Mandela. It Tis Well for Jerry Hollendorfer, who won this race last year with the mighty Songbird, is at 8-1. Champagne Room, winner of last year's Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies, is at 15. Bob Baffert's Faithfully is at 20. Romantic Vision at 20. Baffert's Veil Dory also at 20. Mike, a really nice mixture of quality 3-year-olds and older horses. It looks like one of the better races this Breeders' Cup.
Yeah, this is going to be a great race if everything holds together in the next few weeks and they all make it there, because you're right, the 3-year-old fillies this year, as opposed to 3-year-old colts who just feel like they have no chance whatsoever in the Breeders' Cup Classic, the 3-year-old fillies have a real chance in this race.
Now they're going to have to go through the older one, though, Stellar Wind. Let's take a look at Stellar Wind's most recent race. This was on July the 30th. The Clement Del Hirsch, you see her with the white stripe and the green hat. She is confronting Veil Dory on the outside. She has to work very hard to win this race. Her class prevails. Faithfully, also on this list, finishes 3rd. She's going to be coming into the Breeders' Cup Distaff with a 3-month layoff.
Very fresh. I guess they'd like to space out her races. I guess maybe she's a horse who needs that. We'll see what happens. I would have liked to have seen her run one more time, but it's not going to happen. She was, she did work hard to win that race, but, two things about it. Veil Dory, first of all, pretty nice horse. And, Stellar Wind, even though she had to work for it, she always looked like she was going to get it done in there. She's a really nice horse. She disappointed a little bit in this race last year. She's going to look for some redemption this year.
Keeneland, a couple of years ago, as a 3-year-old filly, she came into the Distaff with a little bit of a layoff, and I always felt that John Sadler likes her fresh. She ran really well that day, maybe not against the quality of competition she'll be facing here, but she ran well off the layoff, and I think Sadler last year, she tried Beholder a couple of times in the fall, and she did beat her, but maybe those races kind of took the starch out of her in the Breeders' Cup Distaff, where she was slow from the gate, sluggish around. You like to see horses run. It frustrates you when
maybe
they don't.
She's one of the horses who really need, they sort of handle all these horses like they need, 3 months between starts. Maybe she's one who actually does need it and she'll run better.
Elate is a horse that began her career with a lot of hype. She won her debut as a 2-year-old by open lengths. A lot of people thought this was maybe the next Royal Delta for Bill Mott, and she disappointed in her first few starts at 3, but she is a disappointment no longer. Let's go back to her most recent race, the Belle Dame. Now, this was a weak field of older horses. This was Belle Dame's really first race against older horses, but she's in behind horses. Right. She's waiting for a seam. She gets that seam. It is over.
Yeah, I mean, once she gets clear, the best thing about this is she settles it in about 2 strides. Once she gets through between horses, the race is already over. She's back in hand. She cruises to the wire. This is a 3-year-old filly, as you pointed out. She started out her career like she really had this kind of potential. It took her a little while to get there. She's there now, man. I mean, she is heading into the Breeders' Cup Distaff in as good a form as she could be heading into it.
That's the perfect prep, though, too.
It really
Don't get to the bottom of the well nice and easy.
A lot like, and it wasn't a good field. It was a kind of field she was supposed to beat that way, and she did. But it's a lot like Forever Unbridled's Belle Dame from last year. She was against a very weak field, but she won it just like that, and then she showed up in the Breeders' Cup Distaff, and she didn't win, but she ran great in this race last year.
Elate's last 3 races have all been very, very good, and she might have a little bit of upside. Let's talk about Forever Unbridled. She won the Belle Dame last year. She ran really well against 2 top horses, and you needed her last year. She ran super against Beholder and Songbird. She's come back this year with sort of a limited campaign as well. Only 2 starts, but she got the number of Songbird in the personal ensign last time out. Songbird had everything her own way on the lead. Forever Unbridled's getting a hot dog on the far outside. Maybe she didn't want Songbird to see her?
Maybe. It might have been a little tactical race there by Rosario, but whatever it was, it worked well. For now, obviously, I don't know that she's beating the Songbird that we all, sort of came to know and love leading up to this race. It felt like maybe she had lost a step, and so maybe it's just Forever Unbridled taking advantage of that a little bit, but she deserved to win like that. She's a really, really nice horse. Who needs more time between races, her or Stellar Wind?
Apparently Stellar Wind, although Forever Unbridled has been handled with kid gloves this this year by Dallas. So she had a little physical problem towards the after the Breeders' Cup Distaff last year. You can understand why Dallas has been patient. The first race at Churchill off the long layoff, I mean, she did not get a figure. You don't win races like that off a layoff that easy, and then very impressive in winning the personal Ensign. We look at some of the other names in here. Abel Tasman, Paradise Woods, 2 3-year-olds, maybe going in different directions. Abel Tasman, as you see, 6-1 on the morning line, has danced every dance. She hasn't ducked anybody. She's run in all the big races, and she's run well just about each and every time. Do you feel, though, that she might be cycling a little bit off? And what did you think of her cotillion? She didn't get the greatest trip in the world.
Yeah, she didn't.
She tried hard to finish second.
Yep.
Do you think that she has another forward move in her, or have we seen her best?
Yeah, I don't know if I believe that she can move forward again. If she just maintains the level she's at right now, can she win this race? Maybe. I don't know about that. I don't want to make it sound like I'm super disappointed in her cotillion, because that ride was a little bit crazy, and I don't think it really worked out that well for her. On the other hand, I do feel like she's probably going to have to improve again if she's going to win this race.
Conversely, Paradise Woods should be fresh leading up to the Breeders' Cup Distaff. She won the Santa Anita Oaks earlier this year with a gigantic Beyer speed figure. That race made her a fairly heavy favorite in the Kentucky Oaks. Everything worked against her in the Oaks. Wet track, ridiculously fast pace up front. It knocked her out. She came back. The comeback was very disappointing at Del Mar, missed the break. Last time out at Santa Anita, she caught a field that she could handle. She went right to the front. She ran a very fast race. There is brilliance to this filly. Is it too much too soon?
Yeah, we'll see. She is a brilliant filly. That's a really good way to put it. And I know that she got a figure for her race last time, and it was nice to see her, sort of get back into form and win a race. On the other hand, I wasn't blown away with it. I really feel like she's a filly. If she shows up in the Distaff, she's going to have to run better than she's ever run before. She's good. I don't know if she can beat this kind of field.
Paradise Woods is brilliant. It Tis Well is hickory and solid. And if you make a mistake against It Tis Well, like maybe Abel Tasman did by moving too early in the cotillion, It Tis Well is going to make you pay. Because she's solid. Distance is no issue for her. She's got good tactical speed. But is she as good as the top horse? Just from a pure talent standpoint?
I don't think that she is, but she has all those other things going for her that you mentioned.
Stellar Win, the 7-2 morning line favorite for the Breeders' Cup Distaff, as per Brad Free's very preliminary morning line odds. And again, for expanded Breeders' Cup contender lists, video previews, news and notes, head on over to drf.com/BC. We'll see you next week on Breeders' Cup Focus.